inevitable future is one where if context is the king or the queen and forms the core for differentiation, do you think the future is one where um, every team will be served by at least one, if not more, models or agents that are localized to that team? And so, therefore, the future of AI in the enterprise is a highly multi-model.
We've always said AI, the future of AI is going to be multi-agent systems. Um, Unlike humans who don't operate in a domain, AI agents are better suited if they're domain specific. There is already a talk about how not just specific to one function, but specific to one job, multiple tasks are done by multiple AI agents, and they come together for a commonality of purpose.
Right.
Uh, I see the same underlying multi-modal structure on multi-agent systems.
Right.
And if you have to build on that, what really then makes the difference is how they're interacting with each other, how they're interacting with humans. How is it different to another organization which is building the same structure?
Right. Right.
And hence, the playing field
Right.
of differentiation still is heterogeneity of enterprises.
Right. Right.
That
Right.
remains static.
That's right.
What changes though is human labor and digital labor coming together.
Right. And so then, how should CIOs or CXOs in general be thinking about this? Because now we're talking about a whole new sort of workforce, right? Where you have lots of agents, one agent per team at least, if not more, that's localized to a team. So now you have to think of infrastructure. You have to think of all kinds of
things. I mean,
Yeah.
as Jensen rightly pointed out, the IT departments will become the HR departments for agents.
Right.
I mean, they then become the HR departments of agents, and you have to get them well to come back to work. You have to keep
Right,
them
right.
motivated to come
Right,
back to
right.
work.
Right.
And how they serve the human endeavor will also become. It's interesting. One of my favorite professors, Adam Grant, I've done quite a bit of interactions with him. He spoke about how counterintuitively a lot of things we think are better done by humans. His thesis says they're better done by agents.
Right.
I mean, empathy, as we
Right,
think,
right,
is a human endeavor. He did an experiment of serving humans with agents and humans without telling the human who
Yeah,
was on the other
sure.
side. And it so happened that the agents actually served better than the humans.
Right.
So you don't know what the endeavor is. I mean, there's a counterintuitive thought that humans are good at verification, they're not good at creativity. And that's why we have less poets, less scientists, less writers. So should humans focus on verification and machines focus on creativity, which is a counterintuitive thought to it's not like I'm subscribing to it, but I equally feel excited about the thought, because the other mainstream thinking is machines will take over the stuff and the human endeavor is going to be creativity.
Right.
But there is a rationale on the other side of why,
Right.
if you want to do at scale creativity, machines are better than
Right.
humans. So, I mean, I don't know where this is going to pivot,
Right.
but it is certainly the status quo is no longer the future.
Right.
So, to that extent, I mean, this is going to be interesting. It'll evolve,
Do you
and
think
it'll keep us engaged.
Do you think the future is one where we'll start to think of ratios between how many
It will.
synthetic workers versus human
Yeah,
workers?
Certainly. I mean,
Because teams are usually constructed based on some pyramid, some ratio, right?
yeah.
Of it.
and how, my AI labs, agents are by design have a flattish structure.
Right.
Even if you create a multi-agent structure, they're flattish.
Right. Right.
But enterprises are hierarchical.
Right.
So how does this come together?
Right.
And he's actually building, my AI labs. The head of my AI labs is actually building a thesis around it.
Right.
When humans and machines come together, machines are by design flattish, and humans are hierarchical.
Right.
So how does that work?
Right.
So I mean, there is so much to be done in this that I feel excited about just the art of the possibilities of what it can do to enterprise productivity.
Right. Because it seems like the inevitable conclusion from context being so important to every team is to now to start to ask how, how many synthetic workers do I need in a team?
Yeah,
Because who know my context.
there'll always be a cutoff point
Yeah.
where for a particular job and a particular function, the ratio of human labor to digital labor will differ.
Right.
The work to be done on human capital
Right.
is, I think, a bigger opportunity for AI
Right.
in comparison to what the advances you have to do in technology.
Right.
I mean, it's fascinating how this is going to evolve, and the value, because a lot of the innovation has gone into the back end so far. It will actually move to the front, and as that happens, the value is going to be unleashed to enterprises.
Right. Right.
Fascinating conversation. Thank you, Rohan. And I mean, a lot of what we discussed today was actually in the Harvard, the HBR article as well. But this is fascinating. I look forward to the partnership. Look forward to evolving this more and create more advances for enterprises to remain heterogenic and differentiated as they are, but feed the productivity with the power of AI.
Right. No, thank you, Ravi. Really looking forward to working with your organization on actually breaking ground on enterprise AI, finally realizing the value of AI inside enterprises. I think that's a big, wide open space and organizations need help.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.